Humanity never forgets a favor, and their revenge can rock entire worlds. Part 2, HFY. The void of space stretched endlessly, cold and silent. Stars glimmered like distant fires, and planets spun lazily in their orbits. Among this infinite darkness, the human fleet moved with purpose. Though small compared to the galactic empires, humans had a reputation. They never forgot a favor, and they never forgave betrayal lightly. Captain Alara Vance stood on the bridge of the starship Resolute, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The system in front of them was home to the Lyran Expanse, a cluster of resource-rich planets under siege by the hostile Dravok Empire. Humanity had been asked for help by the Lyrans, a species known for their elegance and wisdom, who had once aided humans with technology when their homeworld faced destruction decades ago. "We're almost in range," Lieutenant Ryan said, his fingers dancing across the controls. Sensors show Dravok patrols near the outer perimeter. Alara nodded, thinking, "We cannot risk a direct attack. We need to strike smart, hit them where they least expect it. The Lyrans are counting on us." The Dravok were known for their brute strength and overwhelming numbers. Entire fleets had fallen to them before, but humans were different. They were inventive, adaptable, and relentless. They did not rely solely on size. They used intelligence, strategy, and courage to level the field. As the Resolute approached the system, the first of the Dravok patrols appeared on the sensors, sleek, black ships bristling with weapons. The Lyrans had warned that these patrols were ruthless, often hunting down escapees before reinforcements could arrive. "Captain, they've detected us," Ryan said. "They're moving to intercept." Alara's eyes narrowed. "Set course for the asteroid belt near the outer rim. Activate stealth mode and ready the drones. We'll lure them in." The human ship slipped silently into the shadow of the asteroids, engines dimmed, systems concealed. The Dravok ships, confident and arrogant, pursued without caution. They did not expect humans to think this far ahead. From the bridge, Alara watched as the enemy fleet entered the belt. "Now," she ordered, "deploy the drones." Small, agile drones launched from the Resolute, dispersing through the asteroid field. They projected false signals, mimicking human ships that appeared larger and more numerous than they truly were. The Dravok, sensing a trap, charged anyway. Then came the ambush. Hidden human frigates struck from above and below, disabling engines and firing precise energy blasts at command ships. The Dravok were powerful, but they were predictable. Humans had studied their patterns, anticipating each move before it happened. "Shields holding at 70%, reported Ryan. "Enemy command ship hit. They're faltering." Alara allowed herself a small smile. Humanity's strength was not in brute force but in unity and planning. Every crew member knew their role, every move was calculated. This was how humans survived and thrived, against foes far larger and stronger. The battle lasted only minutes, but for the Dravok, it felt like hours. When the dust settled, several enemy ships were drifting, disabled, while the human fleet emerged with minimal damage. The Lyran forces, who had watched helplessly from the sidelines, could not hide their astonishment. You actually did it," said a Lyran ambassador, their translucent skin glowing faintly. "We thought the Dravok were invincible." Alara shook her head. "Invincibility is an illusion. Even the strongest can be outsmarted." After the battle, humans worked with the Lyrans to evacuate civilians from the threatened planets. Alara personally oversaw the rescue, coordinating dropships and shuttle escorts. Humanity's presence was not just about firepower, it was about reliability, courage, and compassion. During the evacuation, Alara met a young Lyran engineer named Cairo. "You humans, you fight differently," Cairo said, eyes wide. "You do not fear numbers, and yet you do not underestimate them either." "How?" Alara paused, considering the question. We remember who helped us, who harmed us, and we act accordingly. We adapt, we plan, and we never forget a debt, good or bad." The words seemed to resonate with Cairo, who nodded slowly. "Then perhaps we are in your debt now." "Not debt," Alara replied. "Partnership. We do not fight for reward alone. We fight because it is right. Because some favors cannot be forgotten, and some threats cannot go unanswered." Word of the human victory spread quickly through the galaxy. Other civilizations, previously indifferent or dismissive, began to watch humanity more closely. Whispers traveled through diplomatic channels. The humans were clever, determined, and unyielding. Those who underestimated them often paid dearly. That evening, as the fleet rested near the Lyran system, Alara walked along the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly, a silent witness to the unfolding saga. She knew the Dravok would return, angrier and more determined. But she also knew humanity had a unique strength, the ability to unite, to think, and to act when it mattered most. Her communicator beeped. "Captain Vance, we have intercepted a transmission," Ryan said. "It's from the Dravok High Command. They've declared our fleet an enemy of the Empire. They will send reinforcements, larger fleets, more firepower." Alara's expression hardened. "Let them come. They will learn what we already know. Humanity never forgets, and when the time comes, our revenge will shake worlds." In the quiet that followed, humans prepared. Engineers upgraded ships, tacticians studied enemy patterns, and soldiers trained for the battles ahead. Every crew member understood the unspoken truth. The galaxy might see humans as fragile or naive, but those who tried to exploit them would soon discover the opposite. As night fell over the Lyran homeworld, Alara looked to the stars. Somewhere beyond the visible systems, danger waited, but humanity had faced the impossible before, and they would do so again. The sparks of the first battle were only the beginning. The storm was coming, and humanity would meet it head-on, with courage, cunning, and the unshakable resolve that no favor would go unremembered, and no betrayal would go unpunished. The journey ahead would test them, push them to their limits, and challenge the very definition of what it meant to be human. But one thing was certain: humans were not just survivors. They were warriors, strategists, and friends who honored their promises. And if the galaxy thought it could ignore them, they would soon be reminded. The victory over the Dravok patrols had brought temporary relief, but Captain Alara Vance knew it was only the beginning. Humanity's reputation was spreading faster than their fleet, and not all eyes watching were friendly. In the shadows of distant star systems, larger fleets and cunning empires whispered warnings to each other. They all underestimated humans, and that mistake would cost them dearly. On the Resolute, the crew worked tirelessly. Engineers recalibrated shields, upgraded weapons, and reinforced engines. Tacticians pored over Dravok data, analyzing every pattern and weakness. Every detail mattered. "Captain," Lieutenant Ryan said, pointing at the holographic map, "we've identified 3 potential reinforcement routes the Dravok could use to reach the Lyran system. They're sending more ships and faster this time." Alara studied the map. "We don't have the numbers to face them head-on," she said, "but we don't need to. We fight smart, not large." The human fleet slipped into the shadow of a gas giant near the system. Thick clouds and magnetic storms gave them cover, hiding their movements from enemy scanners. It was a perfect place to stage an ambush. Meanwhile, the Lyran ambassador approached Alara. "Humans, we are grateful for your help," the glowing figure said, "but the Dravok will not stop. Their fleets are growing. You risk everything coming here." Alara met the ambassador's gaze firmly. "We don't fight for glory," she said. "We fight for honor and for those who help us. You aided humanity when we were on the edge of destruction. That debt will not be forgotten. And now, neither will ours." Her words carried a weight that the Lyran ambassador could not deny. Humans did not simply repay favors. They repaid them with precision, courage, and unyielding resolve. The Dravok reinforcements arrived 3 days later. This time the fleet was larger, faster, and more heavily armed. The alien ships moved like a black wave, confident in their numbers and strength. They believed the humans would flee. They were wrong. "Deploy the drones," Alara ordered. "Set them to mimic the full size of our fleet. Make them look unstoppable." Small human drones zipped through the gas clouds, projecting false energy signatures. To the Dravok, the human fleet seemed larger than it truly was. The enemy commander's eyes narrowed. "Strange," he muttered. "They should be weaker, but their numbers appear massive." Alara smiled faintly. "Appearances are deceiving," she said. The first clash began near the gas giant's orbit. Human ships darted among the clouds, using the turbulence and ion storms to hide their movements. The Dravok fired blindly, their massive weapons unable to track the nimble humans. One by one, Dravok ships found themselves trapped in carefully prepared pockets, where human energy nets immobilized them and small boarding teams disabled their systems. Even when the humans were outnumbered 5-1, they held their ground. Their strength lay not in sheer force but in adaptability. Each human ship had the ability to learn and respond to enemy tactics in real time, adjusting shields, weapons, and flight patterns almost instinctively. Lieutenant Ryan's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain." "Enemy flagship attempting to break formation." Alara studied the feed. "Let them. Prepare the trap at the asteroid cluster. Once they pursue, they cannot escape." The Dravok flagship charged into the narrow passages of the asteroid field, unaware of the hidden mines and human ambush points. Suddenly, it was surrounded. Human drones had disabled the main engines, while precision energy beams cut through weapon systems. The enemy flagship faltered, unable to maneuver. "Lock onto their command core," Alara commanded. "Prepare to disable, not destroy. We want to show them the cost of underestimating humans." In minutes, the flagship's systems failed. The Dravok flagship sent a surrender signal, a rare occurrence among their prideful race. But Alara did not celebrate. This was a warning, not a victory. After the battle, humans quickly moved to rescue the stranded Lyran civilians and repair their own ships. During the aftermath, Alara met with Cairo, the young Lyran engineer who had become her advisor. "You humans, you fight with your minds more than your weapons," Cairo said, eyes wide. "Every move is calculated yet unpredictable. How do you do it?" Alara paused. "We do not fear numbers. We do not underestimate them. We remember every help, every threat, every mistake made against us. And we act accordingly. It's not just skill, it's memory, loyalty, and instinct." Cairo nodded slowly. "Then your enemies will always regret underestimating you." Word of the human victories spread faster than light. Other species, once indifferent, began to rethink their stance toward humanity. Envoys arrived, offering tentative alliances. Some sought guidance, others sought protection, but all were wary of angering humans. Yet even as humans gained allies, the galaxy was watching. A distant, shadowy fleet, larger than any humans had encountered, observed silently. Its commander, an unknown alien figure, studied humanity with interest. The humans' unexpected victories had sparked fear and curiosity in equal measure. Alara knew the bigger battles were coming. "Ryan," she said, walking along the bridge, "we've won small victories. But the storm is coming. We need to prepare for more than just Dravok fleets. Something larger is watching." Ryan frowned. "Do you think they will strike directly?" "Not yet," Alara replied. "They are patient. They want to see if we falter, if we make mistakes. But humanity does not falter easily. They will learn soon enough that every favor we repay, every threat we face, is met with the same unwavering resolve. We never forget, and we never surrender." Days turned into weeks as humans strengthened their position in the Lyran system. Engineers tested new ship models, incorporating lessons learned from each encounter. Tacticians devised complex strategies, preparing for enemies who could strike anywhere in the galaxy. Even soldiers trained relentlessly, learning to fight not just with weapons but with ingenuity, timing, and unity. Then came the first warning of something larger. Scouts reported strange energy signatures near a distant star. It was not a Dravok fleet, too precise, too silent. The unknown presence moved like a shadow, unseen yet powerful. Alara convened a meeting with her senior officers. "This is unlike anything we've faced," she said. "We do not know their intentions, but we must assume hostility. Prepare defensive measures and keep our fleets ready. At the same time, we continue our operations with the Lyrans. Our strength grows with every alliance we forge." Tension spread across the human fleet, but unlike other species, humans thrived under pressure. Where fear might paralyze, it sharpened their focus. Where other fleets might panic, human crews adapted, learned, and struck back with precision. One night, as Alara watched the stars from the observation deck, she thought of the past, of the help humanity had received, of the lives lost, and of the countless debts humans had repaid across the centuries. They were a species defined by memory, honor, and action. The galaxy might see humans as fragile or naive, but those who relied on that perception would be proven wrong. "Captain," Ryan said softly, "do you think they know what's coming?" Alara smiled faintly. "They will soon find out. Humanity never forgets a favor. And our revenge, when it comes, can shake entire worlds." The fleet continued to patrol the system, ready for whatever came next. Each crew member understood their role: protect allies, outsmart enemies, and prepare for the unknown. In the vast darkness of space, humans shone not because of size or firepower, but because of heart, mind, and the unbreakable bond between them. And far beyond, the shadowy fleet continued to watch. Humanity had become a rising storm, and the galaxy could no longer ignore it. The first victories were just the beginning. The storm was rising, and humanity would face it head-on, with courage, strategy, and the unyielding resolve that no favor would go unremembered, and no threat would go unanswered. The shadowy fleet had waited patiently, observing humanity's rise and victories. It was massive, unlike any force humans had faced before. Every ship was sleek, armed with technology that humans had never seen. Yet even as the alien armada approached the Lyran system, humanity did not panic. Captain Alara Vance stood on the bridge of the Resolute, calm, focused, and ready. "Captain, fleet sensors show their numbers are overwhelming," Lieutenant Ryan reported. "We cannot match them directly." Alara nodded. "We don't need to match them, we need to outsmart them." Humanity never fights blindly. Prepare the fleet, every ship, every drone, every crew member. This will be our greatest challenge yet. The Lyrans watched with a mixture of fear and awe. Their worlds had never seen such courage. Humans did not despair in the face of overwhelming odds. They planned, adapted, and acted. "Captain," Cairo, the young Lyran engineer, said, "their technology, it's unlike anything we've seen. How can we hope to defeat them?" Alara looked at him steadily. "We don't need to defeat them with strength alone. We win because we think, because we adapt, because we never forget what we owe and what we face. They may have power, but humans have something far more dangerous: imagination, courage, and the will to act." As the alien fleet entered the system, the humans executed their plan. The fleet split into smaller units, hiding among asteroid belts and gas clouds, creating false signals to confuse the enemy. Drones swarmed ahead, projecting holographic ships that appeared far larger than reality. Every move was calculated to make the Shadow fleet overconfident, to lead them into traps where their numbers would become a disadvantage. The first engagement was chaotic. The alien fleet struck aggressively, firing massive energy beams that carved through the asteroid fields. But the humans were ready. Ships darted unpredictably, weaving between debris and returning precise strikes that disabled key enemy weapons. "Shields at 80%, Captain," Ryan reported. They're focusing on our decoys. Our main fleet is still hidden. Alara smiled. Good, let them think they have the advantage. They will make a mistake. True to her prediction, the enemy commander, overconfident and arrogant, ordered a full strike against the apparent human fleet. In reality, this was exactly what the humans had planned. Hidden units struck from multiple angles, cutting off escape routes and isolating enemy ships in the asteroid labyrinth. Boarding teams boarded immobilized alien ships, using a combination of technology and human ingenuity to disable engines and communications. Each move was precise, efficient, and unexpected. Even though humans were vastly outnumbered, they fought as one, coordinated, fearless, and clever. As the battle raged, Alara received a report. Captain, they're trying to send reinforcements from beyond the gas cloud. It's a massive strike group, hundreds of ships. Alara's expression hardened. Then we show them the cost of underestimating humanity. Prepare the secondary ambush. Hidden within a nearby nebula, humans had placed energy traps, reactive mines that could disable multiple ships at once. They also positioned advanced drone swarms programmed to adapt instantly to enemy maneuvers. When the alien strike group entered the nebula, the traps detonated, disabling engines and leaving the fleet vulnerable. The humans struck with precision, crippling ships before they could escape. On the bridge, the tension was high, but the crew remained focused. Every officer knew their role, every crew member moved with purpose. Humanity's strength was not just technology, it was coordination, courage, and the ability to act decisively when others hesitated. Hours passed, and the battle continued. The alien fleet, despite its size and power, began to falter. They had underestimated humans, relying on numbers and technology alone. But humans fought with strategy, adaptability, and relentless determination. Finally, the shadowy flagship, the command ship of the alien armada, approached the heart of the Lyran system. Alara knew this was the moment. All units converge on the flagship. Disable, do not destroy. We will make our statement clear. Humanity never forgets. The human fleet moved as one. They struck from all sides, exploiting weaknesses they had carefully studied. Energy beams disabled shields, drones jammed communications, and boarding teams infiltrated key systems. The flagship was overwhelmed not by numbers but by superior tactics and human ingenuity. Inside the command center, the alien commander stared in disbelief. Impossible, these humans. Alara's voice came through the comm system, calm and resolute. You underestimated us. You thought we were weak. You thought we would run. But humanity never forgets a favor, and we never forgive a threat. Your fleet is crippled, and your arrogance has cost you everything. The alien commander had no response. The flagship systems failed one by one, until it drifted helplessly among the disabled ships of its fleet. With the flagship neutralized, the remaining alien ships surrendered or fled. The humans had won, not by sheer force, but through strategy, courage, and adaptability. The galaxy had witnessed something remarkable. A small human fleet had defeated a far superior enemy. After the battle, humanity helped stabilize the Lyran system, repairing damage, rescuing civilians, and establishing defensive positions. Alliances were strengthened and respect for humans spread across multiple species. Where fear and doubt had existed, admiration and trust now took root. Alara met with Cairo on the observation deck. We did it, he said softly, eyes wide. Alara shook her head. We did what was necessary. Victory is not just about defeating enemies, it's about protecting those who trust us, honoring every promise, and showing the galaxy who we are. Cairo nodded. Humans, you are not just warriors. You are clever, brave, and unstoppable when united. Alara allowed herself a faint smile. We remember every help, every betrayal, every favor owed and received. That is humanity's strength, and we act not recklessly but decisively and always together. In the following weeks, humans continued to solidify their presence in the system. New alliances were formed, trade routes established, and defensive networks expanded. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated. Every favor would be honored, every threat answered, and every challenge met with intelligence, courage, and unity. Far beyond the Lyran system, the remnants of the shadowy fleet retreated, their commanders sending messages to distant empires. Humanity cannot be ignored, one message read. They fight not just with weapons but with minds and hearts. Their resolve it is dangerous. Alara stood on the bridge of the Resolute, looking out at the stars. She knew the galaxy would continue to test humanity, but she also knew that humans were ready. Every crew member understood their purpose, to fight with courage, to protect allies, and to never forget the debts of honor and trust. "Captain," Ryan said quietly, "what comes next?" Alara's eyes gleamed. "Whatever comes, we will face it, and the galaxy will learn humanity never forgets a favor, and when revenge is due, it can shake entire worlds." As night fell over the Lyran homeworld, humans looked to the stars with hope, determination, and unshakable resolve. They were a small species in a vast galaxy, but their strength lay not in size or firepower, but in intelligence, courage, and the bonds they shared. The storm had come, and humanity had met it head-on. But this was only the beginning. Across the stars, civilizations whispered stories of the humans who never forgot, never surrendered, and whose cleverness and courage could turn the tide of any war. Humanity had proven that in a galaxy of giants, even the smallest voice could roar. And when that roar was coupled with honor, memory, and relentless will, it could shake entire worlds. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity had arrived. And the stars would never be the same again.